Right now, the Dane County Sheriff's Office is proposing to end inmates' access to physical copies of their mail. The reason behind the proposal.
And we are tracking some showers and thunderstorms moving through northern parts of the forecast area. What's in store for tonight and Tuesday in the full forecast?
Also, a water rescue caught on camera as a woman is pulled from the Baraboo River to safety over the weekend. We welcome you to News 3 Now at 6. We begin with a look at the weather. It is a holiday week as well. Got to keep that in mind. But first, some storms possible overnight. First warned meteorologist Blaze Keller with a look at your certified most accurate forecast.
We are tracking those showers and thunderstorms right now. We have to turn our attention way up there in Juneau and Adams County. Everybody else is sitting underneath some cloud cover, which will clear as we go further on into the overnight hours. But at least through, I would say, 9 o'clock tonight, we do have that chance for an isolated, non-severe thunderstorm. Right now, that rain is moving out of Monroe County into more of western parts of Juneau County. Some of that shower activity even back off towards Sparta. So not seeing any lightning with this. This is just generally some rain, maybe a flash or two, but they are staying below that severe weather criteria, which is some good news. We've come off a couple of days with that severe weather threat, so we certainly don't need any more severe weather or rain truly in that part of Wisconsin. But as we go further into the overnight, the clouds clear on out, and that leaves us with the 60s as we head into the overnight hours, and those pleasant conditions continue into Tuesday, but rain does return, as well as that heat and humidity by Wednesday. We'll break that down in just a few minutes.
All right, thank you, Blaze. Well, check the forecast for yourself on the First Warn Weather app. It has hourly planners, road conditions, and radar. You can download it for free in your phone's app store. Just search WISC Weather. A kayaker on the Baraboo River found themselves stranded Saturday, but they made it to shore safely thanks to first responders. Harrowing video, check this out, shared by the Baraboo Fire and EMS, shows a woman stranded in the Baraboo River after her kayak flipped over Saturday afternoon. As she clung to a log for safety, a first responder came to the rescue, using a rope tethered to the shore for his safety.
He talked to her, explained to her what was going to happen. He got her off the log. He kind of bear hugged her, and they both floated downstream with that rope still tethered to that swimmer.
Wow, the first responder and kayaker did manage to get to shore safely. The woman was uninjured. Assistant Chief Willer says that it's not often they're called to this area of the river, and so these efforts show how their annual training made the rescue go well.
Well, here's something you don't see every day. You've heard of firefighters rescuing cats from trees. Well, what about a bird? Crews with Ladder Company number 1 in Madison were called to South Franklin Street yesterday afternoon after a seagull got its foot trapped between 2 branches. With the help of an animal control officer, crews were able to get the bird out without scaring it too much and safely free the bird from that tree. Now to Janesville, where an investigation is underway after a cyclist is killed in a crash with a garbage truck. That incident happened this morning, about 10:20 in the area of Milton Avenue at Memorial Drive. City officials say the driver of the garbage truck stayed on scene. The investigation is now being turned over to the State Patrol. At this time, the public is being asked to avoid that area. And an update on a crash that happened on the Beltline Friday. A motorcyclist has now died as a result. The incident first reported just after 5:30. All westbound lanes on the Beltline were shut down for about 2 hours. The motorcyclist was taken to a hospital where they later died.
Madison police are investigating a shots fired report after finding several shell casings late last night. Multiple calls came in at around 10:20 p.m. in the area of Kessel Court on the west side. Officers found the shell casings, and it turns out an apartment was hit by bullets, but no one inside was hurt. No suspects in custody, and this investigation is ongoing. Around Wisconsin, flags are flying at half staff in honor of a Milwaukee police officer. 32-year-old Kendall Corder was shot last Friday. The Milwaukee Police Department announced his passing over the weekend. He and his partner were responding to a call about someone with a weapon when a 22-year-old man allegedly shot them from an alley. This incident is being referred to as an ambush. The suspect is in jail but has not yet been charged.
Now to the latest out of Hartford, northwest of Milwaukee, where 3 people were hurt in a train derailment this afternoon. According to police, the Wisconsin Southern train was traveling eastbound on the tracks into Hartford when it derailed just west of the city. The derailment happened in an area that has a split in the tracks. Police say there was an obstruction on the tracks that may have contributed to this derailment. Right now, firefighters are working to contain fuel that was spilling out of the engines.
There is a waterway, a tributary that does lead into the Rubicon River that it looks like we are successful keeping all the diesel fuel out of that tributary. There's a small marshland that is close to that, that some of the diesel may have flowed into. We took some remediation efforts to keep it there, dug some trenches and have been pumping it out of that. Wisconsin DNR, we've been in contact trying to figure out how Clean Harbors is going to remove that from that land.
The 3 people hurt were taken to the hospital with only minor injuries.
Well, the 2 Morgan Wallen concerts at Camp Randall Stadium were the biggest in Wisconsin history, according to UW. And they were a big hit, but not everyone got to finish them. UW-Madison police say dozens of people were ejected from both events. Saturday, 4 people were arrested and 20 more were ejected. Then on Sunday, 9 were arrested and 12 were ejected. During Sunday's concert, fans were asked to find shelter at the beginning because of lightning in the area. No fans had to leave their seats or the stadium because of the weather.
Today is your final chance to vote in Madison Magazine's Best of Madison. This year, there are 5 sections, 150 categories of people, places, and things to choose from. You can vote only once in each category. You don't have to live in Madison to vote. It's open to the entire viewing area. Simply go to channel3000.com and look for Best of Madison at the top of the website, and the voting closes tonight at 10 p.m. Still ahead on News 3 Now at 6, Costco makes some scheduling changes for its members.
Plus, a new COVID variant is spreading in the U.S., what you need to know, and the defining symptom of those testing positive.
You're watching News 3 Now at 6.
What's in a letter to a jail inmate?
Dane County jail inmates may not be able to hold physical letters from friends or loved ones much longer.
As the county weighs whether to get its mail digitized when looking for a new communications provider. Arman Rahman reports.
For an inmate of the Dane County Jail, a handwritten letter can be their only connection to someone on the outside. But Dane County Sheriff Calvin Barrett says a physical piece of mail is not worth the safety risk posed to staff and other inmates.
It's not an easy decision for anyone to grapple with.
That decision, whether or not to scan all mail addressed to inmates at the Dane County Jail and having them read their letters on a tablet, rather than the handwriting of someone they know on paper.
We understand how important physical mail is for the rehabilitation process of those that are incarcerated. We want to make sure that each individual that receives a letter is alive.
Sheriff Calvin Barrett says it's safer and more efficient to have a third party open and scan all mail off-site rather than Dane County staff putting themselves at risk as they do now.
While the numbers may not show a significant amount of illegal controlled substances coming in, that's because there's a high likelihood that we're missing that, and that's what's even scarier.
But when I asked repeatedly how much mail scanning costs in the current proposed contract, the sheriff's office couldn't give me an answer.
The humanity that's taken away and lost. When you get a piece of mail and it's digitized, that just doesn't feel the same.
When Sheriff Barrett says letters are soaked or laced with illegal substances, Dane County Board Supervisor Rick Rose says,
we do have a challenge because there are some staff that do not want to put themselves at risk, whether this is rhetoric or reality.
Rose says all avenues, including extending their current contract or accepting one without mail scanning, need to be explored.
We need to keep our residents in mind. And how can we go about things that treat them as humans and meet them where they're at?
Reporting in Madison, Arman Rahman, News 3 Now.
Armand, thank you. The committee is set to vote on that new contract in July. They will discuss the proposed contract tonight at 6:30. Our Maddie Hymsch will have more tonight on News 3 Now at 10.
Well, as you plan activities for the upcoming July 4th holiday, health experts say to be aware of a new COVID-19 variant. Nicknamed Nimbus, the latest CDC data shows this variant is causing more than 40% of COVID-19 cases in the U.S. Health experts say in addition to the symptoms with previous variants like fever, runny nose, congestion, cough, and body aches, the defining symptom for this one is what some are calling a razor blade sore throat.
It is really intense and it can last for a couple of days. And it's even as bad as like when you're just swallowing your saliva, just normal swallowing. It doesn't have to be with food or liquids or anything, just super intense pain.
So if you test positive for COVID-19 and are immunocompromised or have other high risk factors, experts recommend seeing a healthcare provider who can prescribe antivirals, but also be aware the sore throat symptom could be strep throat instead of COVID-19, which is treated with antibiotics.
Well, time to check the fridge. More than 143,000 pounds of ready-to-eat bologna is being recalled. The U.S. Department of Agriculture says the recall from Geyser's European-style provisions is due to a misbranding issue. The various bologna products have beef, pork, or chicken material not declared on product labels. Products affected by the recall include Family Tree Bologna Veal, Babushka's Recipe Chicken Bologna, and Geyser's Russian brand Doktorskaya Bologna. The items were produced between March 20th and June 20th this year. The bologna should either be thrown out or returned to place a purchase for a refund. Costco extending shopping hours for some customers. In an email to members, the warehouse company says executive level members will see new hours starting today. Costco says locations will open an hour earlier at 9 a.m. exclusively for those upper level members. The company also says warehouses will remain open an extra hour on Saturdays for all members, closing at 7 p.m. The first Saturday with extended hours is this weekend, July 5th. Still ahead, get ready for a busy holiday weekend. The record-breaking numbers projected by AAA.
Plus, how the Madison Mallards and Nightmares are planning to celebrate ahead of the 4th of July holiday.
And could the 4th be a washout? Blaze returns. The full forecast after the break.
You're watching News 3 Now at 6.
As the country gets ready to celebrate Independence Day, travelers are being warned to brace for heavy traffic on the roads and also long lines at airports.
That's right. AAA is estimating more than 72 million people will travel 50 miles or more this week. And that would be a new record. AAA started recording July 4th travel from June 28th, as many people took the entire week off for the holiday. They estimate most people will be driving to their destination with roughly 62 million people on the roads.
Part of the reason for that is because July 4th falls on a Friday this year. So that gives people that long holiday. If you're leaving after 11 a.m. or after lunchtime, you are very likely going to sit in traffic.
So the busiest road travel times will be Wednesday, July 2nd between noon and 9 p.m. and then Sunday, July 6th between noon and 6 p.m. This is according to INRIX, which provides transportation data. So if you're flying this week, the TSA recommends arriving early to the airport. 18.5 million people are expected to fly between Tuesday the 1st and Monday the 7th.
In just a few days, you and your family can go to Warner Park to watch the 4th of July fireworks show. July 3rd and 4th, the Duck Pond will play host to 2 fireworks shows. After the Mallards and also the Nightmares games, everyone will be able to come onto the field, but you will need a ticket. If you don't have one, you can still watch from Warner Park. There's plenty of space there. And then on July 5th, the Mallards are rebranding to the Madison Neverminds. That's in honor of the Nirvana album back in the early 90s, produced at Smart Studios in Madison.
We have some cool jerseys. We have a jersey auction going on as well with the benefits of that jersey or the proceeds of that jersey going to Tellurian. Some really fun music and really cool activations that'll be happening here. We have some really great merch as well.
And you can buy tickets for all of the events online at the northwoodsleague.com website. And if you're looking to make plans on the 4th or have to work that night but still want to see some fireworks, we have you covered. Just head over to channel3000.com where we have details on over 24 local fireworks shows.
And a quick reminder this week, the City of Madison Streets Division will not be picking up recycling, brush, trash, or large items on Friday. Those of you who normally have trash and recycling on Fridays should have your carts out for pickup by 6:30 a.m. next Monday. So if you miss the designated time, you will need to wait until the next scheduled pickup day. The Streets Division drop-off sites will also be closed Friday, but reopening during their regular posted hours on Saturday. Well, chances for some thunderstorms later tonight. We have Blaze with the complete forecast.
We are looking at that thunderstorm chance to end as we go into the early overnight hours, which is some good news. And then from there, we clear on out. The cloud cover over southern Wisconsin right now probably going to dampen our chances or lessen our chances for those thunderstorms to reach it this far south over the next several hours. Not anticipating anything severe, just some more rain and across places that really don't need it. And then we turn pleasant as we head into Tuesday. A high pressure system is setting up just off to our west, and it's going to influence our weather here by Tuesday. Northwesterly winds are going to keep the humidity on the lower side. Temperatures as well, a little bit cooler than even today in those low 80s. It is going to feel very pleasant outside for Tuesday. And then we see the heat and humidity return back into those upper 80s to low 90s starting Wednesday through at least Saturday of your 4th of July weekend. We're going to probably peak in those upper 80s to low 90s on the 4th of July, which is about 5 to 10 degrees warmer than this time of year's average high temperature. We should be right around 82 degrees. But overall, we're looking at a pretty seasonal extended forecast. Temperatures aren't, say, 15 to 20 degrees, either above average or cooler than average, which is some good news. And it does look like we'll likely be more seasonal as we go into that first full week of July. We're not seeing any big systems move through the area to bring us either that surge of not only warmer air, but also on the flip side of that cooler air either. However, it does look like we may trend slightly cooler than average as we go into the July 8th through the 14th time frame, but most of us look to say probably seasonal. If we do trend cooler than average, the likely culprit is because warmer air is just off to our west, extending from parts of the Rockies north into Canada. So we've done this a couple of times already this year. We take the cold air out of Canada and put it overhead so that they can warm on up. So we'll just have to see if this plays on out. But generally speaking, it doesn't really look like there's a whole lot in the way of really big systems of note moving through the United States over the next week or so. We do have a few showers and a few thunderstorms off towards Monroe County, beginning to push more into western parts of Juneau County. This is going to continue to push off towards the southeast, being in the Dells by about 7 o'clock, a little bit before, Viroqua by 6:21, and then Ripon by 7:19. Maybe some very, very small hail with this, some gusty winds, but these aren't really becoming much in the way of even thunderstorms. We do have a little bit of upper level support, but they just the environment is just not conducive for these showers or thunderstorms, which is some good news because back behind that line of showers and thunderstorms is much more pleasant air. Low 80s tomorrow, mid to upper 80s Wednesday through Saturday of our upcoming weekend, the 4th of July. I just looked at the latest data. It does look as though most of the day and the evening hours will be dry. I can't rule out a stray shower or two. If it happens, it will be very hit or miss, but it is not going to be a washout.
And it won't be your fault.
And that is the most important thing here, folks. It won't be my fault.
No, not at all. All right, thank you, Blaze.
And Zach is here with some Badger Hoops news to start the week.
Yeah, we know about John Tonje, but one of his former teammates also turning pro. Coming up in sports, where Carter Gilmore will be playing. Hint, he's going overseas. That's next on News 3 Now. It's been a whirlwind of a week for John Tonje. Thursday, Utah drafted him 53rd overall, and then a couple days later, he was out in Salt Lake City and officially introduced as a member of the Jazz. Now, his journey to the NBA wasn't easy, but he made his mark in Madison, posting one of the best single seasons in school history. And just like he said when he was a Badger, Tonje is focused on getting better each day.
I think I had a lot of adversity and just had to work my way up. Is what I've been, the last guy on the bench, and then also they got the top of the scouting report. So I think I'm someone that can understand all types of roles on a team, and I understand how to, just face adversity and just keep trying to get better each day.
Well, Tonje's former teammate Carter Gilmore is also turning pro. The former Badger is heading overseas to the Netherlands to play for the Den Helder Suns. Gilmore saved his best season for his last in Madison, where he averaged nearly 4 points and 3 rebounds per game while leading the team in blocks. The X-Man, John Axford, will be enshrined into the Brewers Wall of Honor later this summer on August 23rd, and that night he'll be on hand to throw out the first pitch, where, if I were to bet, he'll be bringing the heat. Axford holds the franchise single-season records in saves and consecutive saves that both were set during the 2011 season, where he posted a 1.95 ERA with 86 strikeouts in 74 relief appearances. Tomorrow night, the Nightmares will be honoring the Wisconsin women's hockey team as part of their celebration of Canada Day. The Badgers will be posing for pictures, signing autographs, and showing off their latest national championship trophy at Warner Park. First pitch for the game is set for 6:05. And the countdown to Wisconsin kicking off their season under the lights against Miami of Ohio is down to just 61 days. But before they play the games, the Badgers will have to take on the annual Big Ten Media Days. And representing UW in Las Vegas will be Billy Edwards, Jake Renfro, and Ricardo Hallman. The Badger trio with Luke Fickell will step up to the mic on July 23rd.
Big Ten
61
Media
days.
and Media Day in Las Vegas, which is still takes some getting used to.
Yeah.
It's such a national conference now. Let's go to Blaze. Final check of the forecast.
Still tracking a few showers and non-severe thunderstorms making their way out of the Black River Falls area into now more of Monroe County and beginning to enter into the Camp Douglas area, Juneau County. Not looking at anything severe, but some small hail as well as some strong wind gusts at times can't be ruled out. These are going to continue to push off towards the southeast. Again, not anticipating anything severe this evening. Tomorrow, the pleasant conditions continue. Plenty of sunshine. Then we turn the heat and humidity back on starting Wednesday through Saturday of your 4th of July weekend. Right now, it looks like we'll top out in the low 90s on the 4th of July with a slight chance for an isolated shower or thunderstorm in the mainly evening hours, but it is trending more dry than a washout.
Oh, we'll take it.
That's good. So
Thanks,
nature's not
Blaze.
going to have too many fireworks.
I hope.
It'll be the man-made variety.
Anytime that I can, I'm looking at weather data to know so that everybody knows what can happen. But at least for now, it's looking a little bit drier.
And thanks for joining us, folks. Entertainment Tonight is next.
We'll see you at 10.